In this video, I'm going to talk about how I'm conquering my winter blues. It's been something that's impacted me for years, but now I think I have a good solution. So where I live in the US, winters are brutal. It gets dark really quick, gets cold, lots of snow, not a fun time. And what I would notice, my winter blues would hit me the hardest at the end of January throughout the month of February, and I couldn't figure out why. For many years, I was wrong in thinking that it must be something that I'm doing between the middle to the end of January, and then that's what's causing all these problems to happen later on. It wasn't until I zoomed out from my time frame that I realized, oh my goodness, this is a loop. And this is not a behavioral loop that takes only a week or two to complete. It takes a couple months, if not longer. With visual diagramming, I was able to walk back and connect the dots and realize my bad habit loop didn't start in mid-January. It started in Thanksgiving. So how can my actions in November cause me to feel a certain way in February? Well, here's how. First, based where I live, it gets dark much sooner around fall and winter time. Means less sunshine, feeling less motivated. I'm like a bear. I just want to hibernate. Also, when you go from warm weather down to cold weather, it's a change. You're going to have to put on more layers. It's not going to be as enjoyable outside. So there's more resistance, which makes you want to stay at home even more. So that's one portion of the equation. The other one is the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. During those times, it's natural to wind down from work or from school. You get to spend more time with the family, you have time off, and you also tend to eat more because, well, it's the holidays. Hey, enjoy yourself, feast. So with all those habits combined, it got me into a bad habit loop. It started from the end of November into early January. During that time frame, do you think I was motivated and working on my goals? No, I was doing the opposite. I was procrastinating. So when it came down to an important task at school or at work, that can wait. How about taking my car into the shop? Well, does it really have to be right now? I think I could get by a little bit longer. My laundry, we'll stack it up. We'll just wear some of the older clothes. It's fine. But you notice the problem here is when you keep on delaying and procrastinating, that workload doesn't go away. It's still there. It wouldn't be until the end of January or the month of February where it started to get extremely cold and there'd be a bunch of snow and everything that was delaying and pushing off, well, guess what? The deadline arrived, you have to take care of it. It's a bigger project and I'm still in that bad habit loop of being lazy and procrastinating. To make matters worse, even more deadlines would start to come in. And do you think that the current inflow of new work would stop? No, there's always something that needs to be done. Just because you're running behind on a few other tasks doesn't mean your to-do list doesn't get longer. It'd take about 2 weeks for me to feel like I'm starting to catch up a little bit. But remember, I went from 0 to hero, going at maximum effort. That's not sustainable. So on one hand, I'd feel great, like, yes, I'm progressing, I'm finally catching up. But at the same time, I'm starting to feel burnt out. And at that point, I would take a small break to recharge. But ultimately, I just find myself in that bad habit loop until the warmer weather finally arrived. Now, in the past, I found a great workaround, which is to escape winter for a couple months. Now, I'm blessed that I have the opportunity to work remotely anywhere, so that's exactly what I did. And obviously, it's warm weather, the sunshine, so that was one major positive aspect. Another one is you can't just simply be lazy, procrastinate, and assume like, oh, I can just take off now and go, I'll be fine. No, I had to stay on top of my stuff. I had to make sure I hit certain goals, reduce my workload, so that indirectly helped me out as well. But at that time, I didn't know the core problem and the real solution. Here's what I'm currently doing that is really working well for me. I'm focusing on my daily goals. So I'll be honest, I have a lot of habits that I'm working towards, and I'm not hitting that 100% mark. But that's perfectly okay because my main focus and objective is not the output, it's not the outcome, it's trying to improve on my consistency. But what I've come to discover, even if I'm pushing myself for 50-60%, that is the solution. First, by focusing on the good habits, it prevents me from spiraling out of control with these bad ones. In addition, I already have this momentum. I'm not lazy and procrastinating. I'm still putting forth that effort in order to improve and move forward. It may not be as efficient as I'd like it to be, but if there's ever a task or a deadline that comes across my way and it requires 20% more effort, I can do that. And that's a lot better than trying to go maximum effort for 2 weeks straight. So ultimately, ever since I was a teenager, winters sucked because I had the winter blues. And I wish I had visual diagramming and other techniques to help me realize that, oh, It's not what's happening on a day to day basis or what happened yesterday. This was a habit loop that started all the way back in November, and I'm now feeling the impact months later. I'm a personal development coach, and hopefully I drop down some good nuggets for you to utilize in your own life. Now, if you're curious, like, oh, shoot, if Mark was able to discover that about himself, what can he do for me to save me years of pain, frustration, and be much, much further ahead? Well, if you're curious, I love it if you'd book a free session call. You got nothing to lose. Link is going to be in the description. And also, check out the testimonials from other people and see what they have to say. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and as in the words of Peter Parker,
how are you? Trying to do better.